Have you ever felt that strange feeling, as if someone had just entered your life without warning, but in such a profound way that you can no longer ignore them? This is no coincidence. Imagine for a moment, Allah placed someone in your heart like your spouse just when you were not expecting it. You didn't see it coming, and yet this person seems to be the answer to all your prayers. But how can we know if this meeting is really a divine sign? Why do things sometimes seem to be going perfectly, but without a logical explanation? Today, I will reveal to you the hidden spiritual clues that prove that Allah truly orchestrated this encounter. Stay with us until the end, because what you discover could change the way you perceive your destiny. 1. Subtle signs of the divine presence in your life. There are times in life when everything seems perfectly aligned. Unexpected encounters, events that happen without logical explanation, but with a strange feeling of destiny. You've probably felt this way before. A meeting, a look, a simple exchange that leaves a deep impression on you. And yet, before this moment, you couldn't have imagined that it would change your life so much. You didn't see this coming. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has placed this person precisely when you need Him. This is not just a coincidence. Allah works in our lives in subtle, sometimes invisible, but always powerful ways. This feeling which invades your heart, the one which makes you understand that this meeting is not the fruit of chance, but of a divine will. You feel an inner peace that does not come from you, but from Him. An inexplicable feeling of trust, as if your soul recognized this person even before your eyes. The truth is, when you start to notice these signs, you realize that everything that has happened to you so far has been a preparation, a test to get you closer to this very moment. In Islam, we understand that every event, no matter how insignificant, has a reason for being. Allah leaves nothing to improvisation. He orchestrates each encounter, each situation, so that they lead you to what He has planned for you. This could be a sign that this person, whom Allah has placed in your path, is the blessing you are waiting for, even if you didn't see it coming. Every look, every smile exchanged, every word spoken could be the manifestation of His mercy. Allah often guides us through paths that seem winding, but in retrospect, show us that He knew exactly what we needed to experience to get where we needed to be. It's those moments when, looking back, you realize that nothing happened by chance. Allah had a plan for you, a plan for good, a plan for peace, a plan for marriage. In your life, these signs can present themselves in the form of seeming coincidences, a meeting in the right place, an instant connection, or even words exchanged that resonate deeply within you. You may be wondering if you read these signs correctly. The truth is, if Allah places someone in your heart, you will know it. You feel this tranquility in the soul, this silent certainty that this person is part of the divine plan. So when you look at this person, don't wonder if it's a coincidence. Thank Allah that He may have placed someone in your heart at a time when you need them the most. 2. Patience. The test before discovering destiny. There is a profoundly human feeling that resonates within us all. Waiting. That moment when you wonder why things aren't going the way you want them to, why this meeting didn't happen sooner, or why Allah allowed everything to happen this way. You've probably felt this. A feeling of frustration mixed with lingering doubt. Life hasn't turned out the way you planned, and what Allah has in store for you seems to come at a time that doesn't match your expectations. But did you know that this moment, this interval of doubt, is a spiritual test? Islam teaches us that everything happens in its time, and often the time is not ours. This period of waiting, when everything seems unclear and uncertain, is actually a way for Allah to test our faith, teach us patience, sabr, and prepare us for the great blessing that awaits us. Patience, in Islam, is not simply an absence of frustration. It's an act of faith. It is the deep belief that what happens is perfectly orchestrated by Allah, even if we do not always understand the reasons for each event. Only by going through this ordeal do we come to a deeper understanding of divine wisdom. This may seem difficult. After all, why would Allah make us wait? Why is this important meeting taking so long? Why do love and peace seem so far away? But what Allah wants to teach us through these moments of uncertainty is that He knows the ideal time for each blessing better than we do. He knows the perfect moment to bring someone into your life, even if you feel ready long before that moment. Perhaps this period of waiting is necessary to purify your heart, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for a future that exceeds your expectations. Periods of doubt are not just times of suffering. They are unique opportunities to get closer to Allah. It is in these moments that you are invited to seek refuge in Him, to place your trust in His infinite wisdom. Even when you don't understand why things seem delayed, remember that this trial is Allah's way of showing you that He always has a better plan than you imagine. Sometimes waiting isn't just emptiness. It is a sacred space where Allah teaches you resilience and confidence. This period is a test, a preparation, a refinement of your heart. The questions you ask yourself are legitimate, and it is normal to doubt, to want immediate answers. However, the test lies in how you respond to this expectation. Sometimes the key to the love and marriage you seek is not in rushing, but in patience, in surrendering completely to the will of Allah. This unwavering confidence in His plan, even when the situation seems uncertain, is the true mark of faith. The path to marriage, like any blessing, is paved with tests. But each trial brings you closer to God's revelation of destiny, a destiny that, in His perfect timing, will unfold exactly as He intended. 3. The feeling of comfort and serenity, the barakah of the meeting. When Allah places someone in your heart, it is not by chance. A seemingly ordinary encounter can be transformed into a divine experience when Allah's barakah, blessing, permeates that relationship. One of the most profound signs that this person has been sent by Allah into your life is the feeling of comfort and serenity you feel in their presence. It's not just a physical attraction or a passing desire. It is a deeper feeling, an inner peace that cannot be explained by simple human logic. It's a calm that comes over you, as if your soul recognizes the other even before your eyes do. When you are in the presence of this person, everything seems natural. Everything seems to blend together seamlessly, effortlessly. You feel accepted, not for who you wish you were, but for who you really are. Your faults, your imperfections, your weaknesses are not obstacles in this relationship. On the contrary, they are understood and welcomed with a kindness that does not simply come from that person, but which is an echo of Allah's mercy. This total and unconditional acceptance is one of the clearest signs that this bond is blessed. It is a divine gift. In a blessed relationship, Allah places tranquility in the hearts of both people, creating a space where they can grow together in faith and virtue. This relationship is not about seeking perfection. On the contrary, it is built on the recognition of the humanity of others. You are not trying to transform the other person into someone they are not. Instead, you learn to accept it, to support each other in your imperfections, while lifting each other up to Allah. True love, in Islam, is not based on the illusion of perfection. It is based on a commitment to sustain each other in faith, to strengthen each other in trials, to demonstrate patience, understanding, and compassion.
The barakah in this relationship is what allows you to grow together. You work hand in hand, not only to build a life together, but also to draw closer to Allah. Every sacrifice, every effort to improve your character, every moment spent strengthening your faith together is a source of blessing. Allah does not send us a perfect relationship, but one where, through our joint efforts, we can purify our hearts, grow in faith, and find peace. It is a relationship that pushes you to constantly question yourself, to improve yourself for the good of the other, and ultimately for the pleasure of Allah. This feeling of comfort and serenity is not a coincidence. This is the barakah of Allah, a sign that He has placed this person in your life for a greater purpose, one that goes far beyond mere personal satisfaction. It is a path to common spiritual growth, an opportunity to raise your faith together, support each other in difficult times, and draw closer to what is eternal. Never underestimate the feeling of peace that comes over you when you are with this person. It is a divine gift, a sign that this meeting is part of Allah's great plan for you and for this person. In this section, the emphasis is on the idea that Allah's true blessing in a relationship is the comfort and serenity felt together, which goes beyond physical attraction and goes to the heart of the spiritual and human relationship. The tone is calming and inspires reflection on how Allah uses each encounter to guide us toward shared spiritual growth. 4. The crucial moment. When you realize it's him, she, there comes a moment, often discreet and almost imperceptible, when everything becomes clear. It is not a sudden love at first sight or a passing impulse. It's a gentle but powerful realization. It's him, her. That moment when you tell yourself internally, without even being able to fully explain it, that this person is the one with whom you want to share the rest of your journey, not only in this world but also in the afterlife. It is not a simple decision but a revelation that takes root deep in your heart. It often occurs in the simplest moments, those that escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Perhaps it is in common prayer, when you unite in worship of Allah, or when he or she supports you in ways that exceed human expectations, in times of vulnerability or trial. You realize that this person shares your spiritual values, your life goals, and that you are growing in faith together. It is not the search for a perfect partner, but for a companion who helps you draw closer to your Creator. And this awareness, this moment of clarity, is a blessing manifested from Allah. This click in your heart, this precise moment when everything makes sense, is actually a divine sign. It is no coincidence that you met this person at this particular time in your life. This moment of recognition is a mark from Allah that guides you, revealing to you that this person is not just a life partner, but a spiritual ally. She has a specific role to play in your journey towards Him. Together, you share a sacred mission: to grow in faith, support each other in trials, and advance side by side on the path of righteousness. It may not be immediately obvious to everyone, but for you, this moment is an internal confirmation that this meeting was predestined. You realize that this person's priorities, desires, and spiritual goals align so naturally with yours. It is not a simple superficial connection, but a deep harmony that is established between your souls. He or she becomes more than just a partner. He or she becomes a pillar in your spiritual quest, a companion who will help you navigate through life's challenges while keeping your heart centered on Allah. This moment of revelation does not come from simple external observation of the other, but from the spiritual resonance between the two of you. You begin to see this person in a different light, not just as a human being with their own struggles and imperfections, but as a gift from Allah,
a divine blessing placed in your life to help you grow together. In that click, there is a deep clarity and a sense of spiritual fulfillment. It is Allah who shows you that this bond is not ordinary, but that it has a deep meaning, that it is an integral part of your journey towards Him. In this section, the emphasis is placed on the moment of spiritual and interior revelation, where the presence of the other becomes a divine sign. The tone of this part is thoughtful and profound, emphasizing spiritual harmony and the essential role of this person in the common journey towards Allah. It is a call to recognize the divine signs that manifest in the relationship, inviting us to see beyond the superficial to understand the spiritual purpose of each encounter. 5. Trust in Allah. Do not force what will not come. In the quest for love and marriage, one of the most important principles in Islam is to understand that trust in Allah, tawakkul, is essential to move forward peacefully. Sometimes, we find ourselves in situations where we feel intense pressure to immediately understand why certain things are not happening as we want or within the time frame we have set. We sometimes want to force a situation, a bond, a relationship, thinking that it corresponds to our will. But Islam constantly reminds us that everything that happens, whether we understand it or not, is under the will of Allah, and that nothing happens without His permission. When you meet someone and feel that attraction or connection, it's natural to wonder, is this person my destiny? Is this the one I'm going to spend my life with? However, instead of getting carried away by pressing expectations or forcing the situation, Islam teaches us to trust in the divine plan. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, says what is best for us in each moment of our lives. If this person is truly destined to be your partner, the doors will open at the right time according to Allah's plan. This trust in Allah is the remedy for the frustration and anxiety that can arise when things do not go as planned. It is a reminder that Allah knows the depths of our hearts and that He alone knows when and how He will send us what is best for us. Sometimes we think we have the perfect person, but if things don't come to fruition, it is crucial to understand that this is not Allah's intended time. This can be a trial to test our patience, sabr, and our faith. Instead of forcing things or becoming desperately attached to a person who does not seem to correspond to our destiny, Islam teaches us to accept with serenity and faith that the best is yet to come. Maybe the person you're hoping to meet isn't on your path yet, or maybe the time just hasn't arrived yet. Everything has its reason, and sometimes the best thing to do is to let go and allow Allah to guide our steps. This does not mean being passive, but rather acting wisely and waiting for events to unfold in the perfect time that Allah has planned for us. We must take appropriate action, be open to signs, but always with the conviction that the success of our journey does not depend on our own efforts alone, but on the destiny that Allah has mapped out for us. As we cultivate this confidence, we discover that what we lose today could be the prelude to a much greater blessing tomorrow. It is important to remember that everything that happens in life, including marriage, has been predestined by Allah. You should never force a situation that is not your destiny. On the contrary, you must have faith that what is written for you will come at the time that Allah judges most right. This principle of trust in Allah allows us to live with more inner peace, knowing that everything takes place under His benevolence and His infinite wisdom. This section highlights the importance of complete trust in Allah in the quest for marriage. The objective is to emphasize that forcing events can lead to frustration and loss of confidence, while accepting divine will allows one to live serenely and with faith. The tone is reassuring and encourages the viewer to let go and rely on Allah to guide their steps towards the destined person. 6. Marriage as a blessing and a responsibility. Marriage in Islam is much more than a simple act of love or companionship. It is a sacred commitment, a divine bond
that Allah places between two individuals on a deeper level than modern society might sometimes suggest. When you marry, you are not simply leaving yourself to someone to fill an emotional void or to satisfy a personal desire, but to fulfill a spiritual and moral role. Marriage becomes a way to grow together, elevate in faith, and draw closer to Allah through the challenges and blessings of daily life. When Allah places someone in your heart as a husband or wife, He does not just offer you a companion to go through the joys and sorrows of this life. It offers you a valuable opportunity to strengthen your faith through shared actions and intentions. Marriage becomes a space for spiritual growth, where both partners learn to support each other, not only in happy times, but also during trials. This allows you to elevate yourself spiritually through sharing your experiences, common prayer, and sacrifices made for others and for Allah. This idea goes well beyond the notion of romantic love and fleeting pleasure. In Islam, marriage is seen as a path to Jannah, paradise. It becomes a means of achieving contentment with Allah by honoring and respecting the rights of others, offering support through challenges, and living a life based on fundamental principles: patience, sabr, generosity, mutual respect, and gratitude to Allah. It is a commitment that requires constant attention to these values and a willingness to sacrifice one's own comfort for the good of another in the hope of eternal reward. Marriage, as described in Islam, is also a responsibility. When you take your partner's hand, you are even making a commitment to Allah, to your spouse, and to yourself. It is not just about living together, but nurturing a relationship that is guided by faith, love, and fear of Allah. This implies understanding that every act, every word, every intention must be oriented towards the well-being of others and of the community. Allah teaches us that the true beauty of marriage lies in the spiritual support that spouses provide to each other. This includes not only times of happiness, but also times of difficulty and trials. It is in these moments that we see the essence of Islamic marriage, a true partnership in which faith becomes the glue that unites souls. By nurturing this relationship, you are not only performing an act of human love, you perform an act of devotion to Allah, seeking to live according to His will, through patience and understanding. Marriage thus becomes a way to strengthen your bond with Allah. By praying together, offering acts of charity together, seeking solutions to problems with wisdom and mercy, you build a relationship that transcends time and finds its reward in the afterlife. Marriage in Islam is a spiritual school of life where every day spent with your spouse brings you closer to Allah and allows you to live in harmony with His teachings. Ultimately, marriage is a blessing from Allah, but also a great responsibility. It is not simply a union of two individuals, but a sacred union based on faith, devotion, and mutual love. And every day spent honoring this relationship is one step closer to a life filled with blessings, peace, and closeness to Allah.
If you felt a thrill every moment we explored the signs of this divine encounter, it is because you are already on the path to a deep understanding of the destiny that Allah has traced for you. Every moment of your life is a test, a blessing, and an opportunity to draw closer to Him. If this video has awakened questions or revelations in you, don't wait any longer. Take a moment to think about the person in your heart. And above all, remember, trust in Allah and patience are the keys. If you are ready to learn more about recognizing the blessings He places in your path, subscribe, like, and share this video. And remember, whatever you seek is already in the hands of Allah.